Ben and I went hunting up in North Texas. He's using his new Bering Optics Hogster-R Thermal weapon sight. It's a small, entry-level weapon sight, but is surprisingly capable despite having less resolution and less magnification than some other sights such as my IR Hunter Mark III that you see here on the right. Ben has more videos with this sight on his channel, and I'll put a link to his channel in the description. He zoomed in here 2 times, so that brings it up to 4 power. Looking at the Bobcat, that's going away at about 230 to 260 yards. At that distance, that Bobcat's going to be a little bit of a hard shot, but possible to make. You notice the horizontal crosshair is missing from the view. That is a product of the recorder being used and not a product of the scope itself. It happens with my Trijicon also, but it is visible inside of the scope itself. We moved on to our next property, spied this hog that we went after. Apparently it winded us. Here Ben is adjusting the image quality on his scope as the hog disappears from view. We decided to go away, check the other properties, came back a few hours later, spied this other hog. He's probably 300 yards, maybe 400 yards out there, and there's a ridge between us and that hog. And during the time it took us to make our approach, he was out of view, and apparently he disappeared off to the right. Carpe Canis. Still later, came across this coyote. We chased him all around the pastures. The cattle helped us with that. The cattle were actually no help at all. I asked Ben if he could make a shot at this distance. He said he'd give it a try. I thought it was a little far and started lip squeaking, and the coyote responded. You'll notice both of us scanning off to the left. That's the direction which the cattle were located. We were afraid they were going to follow us in.
Yeah.
Tell me when it's good for you.
Here I make a final safety scan to the left to make sure no cattle are creeping up on us. The area is clear.
He turns broadside.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
2 shots and 2 hits, and she goes right down.
Safe.
Safe.
Fist bump.
Fist bump.
Bam.
Brass Catcher by Tactical Brass Recovery.
This coyote came in at 31 pounds and had an absolutely beautiful coat, and surprisingly had no exit wounds.
Alive.
Running the metal detector over her, discovered 1 bullet in the neck.
1 in the neck.
We figured that was my shot.
Where's the other one?
Other side.
Is it?
Found a 2nd bullet and figured that was Ben's shot. We identified his shot there in the left shoulder at the base of the neck, and my shot entered just above the left eye, which was not where I had been aiming. And slowing down the video, looking at the shot that I made, I'm aiming in the chest, but Ben is actually going to shoot first, and his bullet's about 500 feet per second faster. It's going to impact first, and here I've frozen the image. If you take a look at the tip of this branch and use it as a reference, you can see where the head dips and then comes back up again with my shot. So that is apparently how my shot that was aimed at the chest ended up impacting just above the left eye. Now this is the only necropsy image we're going to show you because things got pretty nasty after this as we were searching for fragments, but this is where the ELD match Grindle round went through the skull, breaking out the backside and into the neck. In total, we recovered 12 fragments of the Hornady ELDM 130 grain bullet, weighing in at 85.8 grains. Most of the fragments were recovered high on the shoulder, behind the shoulder blade, with 1 fragment, the base of the core actually traveling a total of 23 inches, and that was the bullet fragment that we found in the side of the Coyote that you saw on the video using the metal detector. So that wasn't Ben's bullet, so we had to figure out what happened to his S&B 308 150 grain saw point cutting edge bullet. And in the process, I tore out all the intestines trying to find this bullet, and it had actually traveled the entire length of the body, going through the chest cavity, through a lot of the organs, before lodging itself at the very back end of the Coyote, between the legs, right next to the urethra. I thought this was pretty neat. I'd never seen a .308 caliber bullet recovered from a Coyote, much less two centerfire bullets recovered from the same Coyote. And of course this was made possible by the fact that we were shooting straight down the length of the body of the Coyote. Even when you take these shots, oftentimes the bullet will end up exiting out of the top or side or bottom of the Coyote. In this case, both bullets managed to stay inside.